Shalom. All praise is due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Quadash. Double honors to the elect, apostle, bishops, elders at Great Millstone that Ruel. Shalom to elect Akal there doing this work in sincerity and truth, not for vainglory, in season, out of season. Shalom to the elect men, women, sons, and daughters of the nation of Israel, which are the elect men, women, sons, and daughters of you so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, Hispanics, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and the Israelite foreigners that scattered through the four corners of the earth. All right, I just wanted to bring this out. Let's go straight to it. This is Jeremiah, 3rd chapter, and the 1st verse. It says, "They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith Yahweh." So they say, if a man put away his wife, and see, that's the wickedness that's going on right now, and it went on back then, and that's what was going on, So basically, if a woman goes around and she sleeps with a bunch of men, it says that land will be greatly polluted, so, even if a man do put away his woman, right, because of whatever reason, she's not, she's giving him all kind of problems, it's, she say, he found out that she was sleeping with another man or other men, and also too, out of wickedness, man, so you can't just back in the ancient world, man, you will put your wife away. Why? Because she would not go as you would have her. She won't listen to you. You know what I'm saying? You're arguing every day. So there's many reasons, man. So it says, shall not that land be greatly polluted? So a woman's value goes down, after she's been given unto another man. It says, and she go from him and become another man's, right? She doesn't reconcile with her husband, right? Okay. And she becomes another man. Her vagina, or whatever you want to call it, okay, it becomes less of value. It becomes polluted, very polluted, man. So, you have these, these women out here, they believe that, they can sleep with all these other men, and, their vagina is still has a high value, what they would call a body count. Well, what's your body count? Oh, it doesn't matter on my body count. I'm a nice person, I'm a nice woman, I'm loving, I go to church. No, the value of your vagina goes down, All right. And whether the man puts you away in wickedness, you know, or whether he does it because you just being a damn demon towards him. You just causing him all kind of problems. You know, he finds out that that's not his kid, you know. So he said, yo, man, I'm out. I'm not taking him, but I ain't, nah. You lied to me. I thought that was my son or my daughter, you know. And then you go to another man, you become greatly polluted, you know. So, you know, especially when it comes to the black woman, you know, and it's the West Indian and Haitian woman that live here in America mainly, you know. And it's the Latino woman that lives in America mainly, you know. The Native American woman that lives here in America mainly, you know. It's just that they believe that their vagina still holds value, you know, once they go to another man. No, your vagina becomes of low value. You know, it becomes a very low value, man. You know, even if you sleep with another man while your man is still alive, your vagina becomes low value. But they say that body count doesn't matter. And I'm not talking about the so-called white woman because, you know, she's who she is, you know. You know, she's dealing with the spiritual demon Satan, you know, so let them do what they got to do. But I'm talking about so-called black, West Indian, Haitian, Latino, Native American, okay, woman, Hispanic woman, okay. You know, so, you know, these black women, and the reason why I'm bringing them up, because the simple fact is that they still believe that they deserve respect, you know, after they done slept with all these multiple men. No, you're polluted, okay? You know, and except for them humbling themselves and say, listen, I know I slept with a lot of dudes, but you know what? I want to repent and I want to do right. We could deal with that. But you still walking around with your pride thinking that your vagina is worth more than gold, which is not. Okay? All right? Your vagina is polluted. See, a man can sleep with a whole bunch of women and still hold a high value. But a woman, when you sleep with a bunch of men, it holds no value. Okay? All right? It says, shall he return unto her again? See, that's the question. You know, shall he deal with that woman again? Okay, I put this woman away, you know, for whatever reason, you know, because I couldn't control her, you know, or I was being wicked, or, you know, she did all this wickedness towards me. Shall he return to that woman again? It says, shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. Yet return unto me. It says, yet return again to me, saith Yahweh. You know, and that's what the nation of Israel did, man. You know, we went to all these other heathen nations and praised their gods. You know, we went to all the other heathen men, you know, and praise their gods, man. Okay? You know, with many lovers, man. So, you know, your value is, your vagina is of low value right now, black woman. And I know you the main ones, and you got the West Indian woman over here, and over in Jamaica and the islands, and you know what I'm saying? You Haitians over there in Haiti, and you Dominicans over there in Sasua and Brazil, and you know what I'm saying? You know? But it's mainly the black woman that's the most outspoken. You know, over there in Nigeria, you know, they got that same fucking attitude. You know, that they can sleep with many men, and they're still a high value woman. So your vagina is of low value when you sleep with all these different men. Okay? All right? You know, so walking around with your head stuck, with your nose stuck up in the air, like a man's supposed to worship you and provide for you when you done slept with all these men. Nah. You know, you got 10 different kids by 10 different baby daddies. You know, you got 2-3 kids by 3 different baby daddies. You know, you was with this man, you wouldn't go his way. You know, he had 2 kids by you, but then you had another kid by another man. You know what I'm saying? Your value goes down as a woman. Okay? All right? So, I just wanted to bring that out. You know? So, you know, hey, the pride of these women, you Negro, West Indian, Haitian, Latino, Native American, Hispanics, Seminole Indian women, especially the black woman, and the West Indian woman, she's right behind you. You know, the Haitian woman over here that lives in America, she's right behind you. The Puerto Rican woman is nipping at the black woman's heels. You know, you got them Dominican women, you know, it's the same shit. You Mexican women, you're all proud, but the black woman, she's more outspoken about everything. She sets the tone for whorism, okay? Out of all the other tribes of the other women, okay? All right? So, it's just the pride, man. You know? I am the table. Well, you a filthy table. You know? And it's nice to see that a lot of so-called black men are getting the hell away from the black woman, man. Leave the black woman alone. You know? You so-called black men. You know? Hope you're edified, and with that, shalom.